You're listening to the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast, the only wrestling podcast that gets uncooked, uncorked, and uncensored. What is up, everybody? You are checking out the Uncensored Pro Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, the Hawk Body Ant, and you are joining us for our Attitude Years Season 3 coverage of WWE. And we're covering WWF Raw Is War from February 21st, 2000, live in Atlanta, Georgia. This is the last Raw before WWF No Way Out. So we start off the night with the DX Express arriving to the arena, and then DX comes out. They trash talk Atlanta, and then The Rock comes out. Rock says, every week, Triple H, you run your mouth. He makes fun of Triple H's voice, saying, tonight, I'm the game in this ring for 20 minutes. I'm going to be talking and saying absolutely nothing. Rock says, you absolutely suck. Tonight is going to be a special night. Though the thought of another DX night makes me want to throw up. That's not happening tonight. Triple H says, I always can count on you rambling off one of your funny catchphrases. If I say it's going to be a DX night, then that's going to happen. It seems like you don't have a chance against us. And the Cactus Jack comes out. Cactus says, Triple H, you left Cactus Jack stranded in the middle of the road, but not for long. A big truck with a driver named Big Earl picked me up, and I told him stories about what I'm going to do to you at No Way Out. We saw two figures, and we picked up those passengers. And out come Kane and Paul Bearer. Cactus says, let's make a 6-man tag match tonight. And then all the 5 men fight. Big Show comes out with a steel chair and lays out Cactus Jack and Kane with it, and The Rock. And then Triple H hits Cactus Jack with a pedigree. So obviously DX wants to continue their streak, bringing it over here tonight on Raw. Next up, we have Intercontinental Champion Chris Jericho teaming up with Chyna, take on the European champion Kurt Angle and the British Bulldog. Angle trashes Atlanta and wants to explain his actions for hitting Chyna with the European title. He was told Chyna was going to steal his belt so she can sell it to get more plastic surgery. Nice stuff there from Angle. During the match, Angle hits Jericho with the Intercontinental Championship and hits Jericho with the Olympic Slam to get the victory. Will this be the same at No Way Out? We'll have to wait and see. But Angle will do anything for a win. Next, we see Rikishi getting taped up for his match tonight. And we have Too Cool taking on Al Snow and Steve Blackman next. During the match, Al has Steve Blackman do the moonwalk, which is pretty funny to see. That distraction allows Sky Gotti to roll up Steve, and Too Cool gets the victory here on Raw. It's always funny when Steve Blackman gets in the ring with Al Snow because they're both very silly together. We have a tag match, Perry Saturn and Dean Malenko versus D'Lo Brown and the Godfather with the hose. During the match, Perry lands a flying elbow drop to D'Lo, and Perry Saturn and Dean Malenko get the victory here on Raw on a very tag team edition of Raw here. We see the DX Express backstage again. We have an 8-man tag match here, Edge, Christian, and the Hardy Boyz versus the Dudley Boyz and the WWF Tag Team Champions, the New Age Outlaws. During the match, the Dudley Boyz turn on their team, the Outlaws. They're going to be fighting them at No Way Out. And Bubba hits Mr. Ass with a steel chair, allowing Jeff to hit the Swanton Bomb. But before Jeff can get the pin, Edge pins Mr. Ass. So Edge, Christian, the Hardys get the win after the Hardys and Edge and Christian argue over why Edge took the pinfall over Jeff. Both of these teams will fight at No Way Out. Next, we have the Acolytes and Mark Henry versus the Hollies and Viscera. The Acolytes and Henry get the win after the Acolytes land a double power bomb to crash Holly. After Mae Young kicks Crash until Hardcore Holly clotheslines Mae, and Viscera splashes a pregnant Mae Young. Mae is stretchered out, and this might be the last we see of her and her pregnant belly. We have Chris Benoit taking on the Hardcore Champion Test next. During the match, Eddie Guerrero comes down with a pipe and hits Tess with it. Chris Benoit lands a flying headbutt, and Chris gets the win. Next up, we have a no disqualification match, Rikishi versus Eddie Guerrero. Rikishi has that hurt leg, while Eddie has that injured arm. Rikishi comes out with 3 crushes, and Eddie says, "You're not looking too cool, SA. Did you put too much weight on your ankle? Did you hurt it doing the bump? Since this is no DQ, I'm going to show you a killer step." However, Rikishi hits Eddie with a crush and lands a bonsai drop, and Rikishi defeats Eddie Guerrero quickly. After the Radicalz attack Rikishi until Too Cool runs out with crushes and lands attacks on the Radicalz. Rikishi hits the Rikishi driver to carry Saturn, and Rikishi and Too Cool have the advantage heading into No Way Out here on Raw. We get a backstage promo from Cactus Jack. Cactus has Michael Cole lay down, and he says, "I'm going to jump off the cell, and I cannot think about the look on Triple H's face as I land on him. If I have to show up at WrestleMania in a walker, I will." Bang, bang. So Cactus Jack promises the injured Triple H at No Way Out. Next, we have Tazz versus the Big Boss Man. Tazz applies the Tazz mission, but then the Big Boss Man hits him with a nightstick after Prince Albert attacks Tazz and hits a modified neck breaker. Albert and Big Boss Man laying out Tazz here. And we have made to our main event of Raw, Big Show, X-Pac, and the WWF Champion Triple H with Tori and Stephanie McMahon Helmsley taking on Cactus Jack, The Rock, and Kane with Paul Bearer. This is a decent 6-man tag match. The end comes after Triple H hits Cactus Jack in the head with a fire extinguisher, and Triple H, X-Pac, and Big Show get the victory here. After Kane attacks X-Pac, Rock and Big Show fight, and then Triple H helps them, but then Cactus Jack nails Triple H in the head with a trash can. Triple H, X-Pac, and the rest of the X run off in the DS Express. However, Cactus Jack rams a huge long pole into the windshield of the DS Express, and that ends this episode of Raw Is War. We've got an episode of SmackDown, and then we have made it to No Way Out, which I'm excited for. We're officially on the road to WrestleMania 2000. Make sure you subscribe, like, leave a comment, hit the notification bell, follow us on YouTube, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Until next time, stay safe and stay uncensored.